Hey, good morning. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about rapport and getting to know somebody before you really start to make suggestions about anything, really. And I think a lot of mentors or people in a coaching situation or, you know, parenting or friend or find somebody in a crisis or an issue or, maybe reaching out to need help that we want to help and we want to do something that makes a difference and is impactful, and sometimes that's not what is required. Certainly not in a new relationship. If I get a client, the first thing I want to do, and it might take a while, is to really get to know the person, get to know where they're coming from, who they are, and even if I think I have a good read on them, I need that person to feel comfortable with me and the situation so that we can actually make some changes if they need to be, if there need to be any. And, we can make the assumption that they found us, or I can make the assumption that they found me, that obviously, they need something. Something wasn't working out, and they were referred to me or whatever. But that doesn't change anything about needing to have good rapport with somebody before you build trust and influence. So I take time and get to know people and ask them questions about themselves and their interests, and really show an interest in their interest. And I don't fake it. Sometimes I have to ask questions before I know what somebody's talking about, or maybe I don't care too much about what they're interested in. But you can always find an angle or find a connection or find something that is relatable and that can bring us together. What I do is I just take time. I'm very upfront. A lot of my work is done in the Medicaid waiver, so it's not necessarily private pay. If somebody were paying me directly, we might be a little more intentional as far as getting things going. But that's one of the benefits of the Medicaid waiver, and I know that there's some debate on the value of this for some people. But having, months or years even, really frees up those beginning stages and moments to develop good rapport. And again, the intention is to influence somebody into making better choices or taking your advice, but they have to trust you. And none of that happens without rapport. So we will do that in the community, taking walks in the park, meeting at the coffee shop, um, running errands, setting up services, talking about advocacy. It depends on where the person is, and I want to meet the person, the individual, where they are and their situation. So I want to know as much about where they authentically are in their own understanding and in their relationship to the people around them and their circumstance. And when you give that time to breathe, the next step is they trust you. And then you can really go deep with the connection and get excited. I had an individual who was into sports, and once we kind of connected on, you know, playing sports together, he just lit up, and all of a sudden we have this bond and this common thing that, I like to throw the ball around, so we throw the ball around. Well, if this person doesn't have anybody to throw the ball around, all of a sudden here's this person, me, who has this larger interest in mind of helping them out and getting to this other point of independence higher independence, more independence, whatever the situation might be. Now they're going to listen to you when you make a suggestion, and that's where the influence comes in. So that's what I wanted to say about that. The wind is blowing kind of, not fiercely, but we had some wind, and I don't know if the audio is going to sound great, but we're going to sign off for now, and we'll be back with a new one pretty soon, okay? All right, thanks, everybody. Let's say goodbye. Let's say goodbye. Bye. Peace.